Hello again, my monster cuties. I think we are getting pretty close. I think I can do this in 2 more sessions. So today we're going to focus in on this back area here because his butt looks not very good. And I think we're pretty much done with this guy. Then we have to decide if we want to put a backlight on this and then overall lighting and then some crap in the background. Alright, so we got some stuff to work on. Maybe 2 more sessions, this session and another session. I don't know. Let me figure out where all my stuff is. These are the spots. Alright, and then we did a roadmap kind of last week before I closed up. And this is what we decided to do with our roadmap. Get some of these bulges in here. Get some wrinkles around the knees because they're too smooth. Wrinkles around the knees. Some stuff going on here. Alright. That reminds me of what I wanted to do, so I'll just turn this roadmap off and work on the overpaint. Before I do that, select the thing again, hide it, and then slide back on down. And let's get to rendering. I think I'm gonna do some overlay work too because there's not enough color contrast between his outer body and his inner body. So we might do some more stuff with like give him more of a two-toned feel to him. And we'll just see how it goes, but we're gonna concentrate on this back end tonight and then maybe some more textures and stuff. But yeah, I don't think I'll be able to finish it completely. I lost a couple of days. Last night, I didn't have the energy to do it, so I lost a night of painting. So sometimes you just have to go to sleep. If there was one thing that I could give up, it would be sleep. I enjoy sleeping. I do. But I enjoy making art far more than I enjoy falling asleep. So if there was a way to not sleep without going completely mad, I would do that. So I don't know if I want to continue with this series or do like another series, or I don't know. Trying to think of what I want to do next, because I like this style. I have some other ideas for Cutie illustrations that I think would be funny, but would also help showcase my more narrative structure in my illustration, I think. I think we're getting somewhere with this. I'm still a little wishy-washy on the narrative. I think it could be stronger, but I'm not gonna worry about it too much right now because I've gone so far. And I can always paint other stuff, so it's not like I only have one chance, you know. So I don't know, I mean, this is probably my emo self-conscious speaking, my lack of confidence in what I'm doing. Oh, what are you watching there? Oh, I'm watching this guy get all emo about how he sucks. That looks a little bit better. Maybe I'll do a surfing robot or something. I don't know. Oh, so many ideas, so little time. See, that's where sleep gets in the way. Is that like I don't have time to not sleep. Oh boy. It's kind of an interesting shape. Oh, nope, B. There we go. I don't have really much to talk about. Um, oh, yes, I do. I'm lying. My aunt lives in San Francisco, and there's a huge Pearl Arts and Crafts store on Market Street. And she was in there recently, and they were having these ridiculous 50% off sales. And so she talked to the woman behind the counter, and apparently they're going out of business. At least that location is. Um, but upon further investigation, she discovered that the entire chain is going out of business. So, if you happen to live near a Pearl Arts and Crafts, now is the time to go and shop your ass off because they're closing stores left and right. I don't know if this is a rumor or if it's been corroborated, but I did check out their website, and they are running some pretty heavy sales right now. So if you go online, you can pick up some really good deals, which is unusual for Pearl Arts and Crafts because usually their deals freaking suck. I long since stopped shopping at Pearl, and sure they give you a discount when you're a student, but their normal prices absolutely suck. Like, um, I was in the market for some Sculpey, and uh, I was looking for the gray stuff, which is um, the harder the harder, firmer version of Super Sculpey. And I found a box at Pearl, and it was something like 15 bucks. And I was like, well, that seems a little expensive. I'll shop around before I settle. And I'm glad I did because right across the street at the AC Moore, I found a box of it for like 10 bucks. It's a $5 difference. And Pearl Arts and Crafts puts itself out there as the discount art supply store for artists, which is complete bull. I mean, they definitely have a wider selection than many brick and mortar stores, but in terms of prices, they suck. They absolutely suck. So whenever I go shopping for art supplies, and I'm getting a weird thing going on here. What's going on here? Photoshop is freezing on me for some reason. Um, but whenever I go for art supplies, I go to two places. The AC Moore that's right across the street. All right, this is annoying here. Something's going. Photoshop is not. There we go. All right, so I go to two places. I go to the AC Moore, which is right across the street, which is a craft store. And even though it's a craft store, they actually have some pretty decent art supplies. And a place called Plaza, which used to be, I think it used to be Flax at one point. Or maybe Flax used to be Pearl. I don't know. But Plaza used to be something different. And there are a number of plazas in my area. There's one in Rockville. There's also one in Bethesda. So I go there for my art supplies, and every once in a while I'll go to Utrecht because there's a Utrecht in Bethesda, not in Bethesda, in DC, which is also a great place to buy art supplies. All three of those places, AC Moore, Plaza, Utrecht, have much better prices than frickin' Pearl. And the staff is helpful and it's all nice. So I am not entirely surprised that Pearl's going out of business, because sure they have the selection, but if they don't have the prices, I mean they're trying to gouge artists. It's not like we have a whole lot of money. I mean that seems like a really stupid business model. Like, offer a wide selection and then charge out the ass for artists. Come on, I mean, we're trying to make our own livings here without being gouged by our suppliers. So, if Pearl is indeed going out of business, I will not miss them. There are other places to go to, better places. Now, some of you may have different experiences with Pearl, and I'm not saying that they are universally horrible, but just in our particular area, they are not very. They are the last place I go. And even with their selection, they don't have everything I'm looking for sometimes. Oh, but I was looking at brushes because I have a few Rosemary Company brushes that I use for my comic book inking, my comic inking, and they fray. The two I have have been fraying, and I haven't been using them all that often for all that long. So I was really disappointed. Um, but I wanted to look at some Winsor Newtons because the Winsor Newton Series 7 is the legendary brush of comic artists. And, I wanted to see if they were on sale at Pearl. And I checked online, and the Winsor Newton Series 7 brush, I'm looking for a number 3. That bastard is still $21. So yeah, the Winsor Newton name is commands a high price. Um, and I've never used one, and I really want to, but it's really difficult to go into a store, crack open a brush, and grab a bottle of ink and go to town on something. So it's I don't know, but it's a legendary brush, and there has to be a reason. I used to think it was just hype, but a lot of hyped up things have turned out to be, you know, verifiable, at least for my workflow. For the longest time, I've heard that, to be a real inker, or professional inkers, they use brushes because they get a lot of character and personality in their lines. And I was like, and for the longest time, I've you know been resistant to that particular hype because my feeling is it's not the tools, it's the hands behind the tools. And you can make any type of line you want to with any type of tool, and that's, for the most part, I still believe that. But when I cracked open a brush and used a really crappy brush that I had laying around, I found the line quality to be something that I guess always subconsciously I've been looking for, and it was something that my micron pens was not able to give me as easily. You can still get a variety of line widths with a micron or a similar felt pen, but the ink doesn't flow like it does when you're using a brush. So I don't know, maybe there's something to the Winsor Newton hype. Let me save that. Alright, so we got some bubbling things going on in here. We got some toning going on up in here. shade this out. And some more depth to push things around a little bit. So someday I will pluck down the money for a Winsor Newton and try it out. The Rosemary Co. and Co. brushes have been highly recommended to me because they're affordable, and even though they're mail order only and they come from England, sight unseen, supposedly you can use one and you get some really decent results. So, and they're really affordable. So for now, I think Rosemary and Co. is going to be my go-to. But I'm curious. I want to try the Winsor Newton. I've never really understood why art supplies are so expensive. The two most expensive majors at my school, University of Maryland College Park, were architecture and art. Architecture because you have to get a lot of specialized tools, and those also cost a lot of money. But then, they make you work on vellum, which is a really expensive paper. And art, you have to, I took an oil painting class, and we had a number of colors that we were required to get. And I remember this one tube of cobalt blue, which was like $50, and I hardly used it the entire semester. So one of my last paintings, I just busted out the cobalt blue and smeared it all over the canvas and used it. It was a very blue piece. But it's always baffled me why art supplies are so expensive, because artists are notoriously poor. Like Van Gogh never sold a painting in his life. George Seurat had found difficulty having his work accepted and never sold anything, during his lifetime. And yet their materials are so expensive. Like oil paints are way expensive. And I guess, you can tell when you're using them, because I love oil paints. Right now, when I do paint in the apartment, I use acrylics just because they're easy to clean up. But if I had the space, and if I had, a proper area, I would go back to oil paints in a heartbeat, because they flow so nicely, and you can blend, and they have this quality, this luster to them that is difficult to describe, but you get such purity of color and light. Just the light that you can achieve with oil paints is phenomenal. And I'd love to do it, but they cost so freaking much. And I've never understood that. And the crappy thing is, you can tell when you use a crappy brush or a crappy pen or crappy paint. You can tell. Well, at some point you can tell. When I first started using things like brushes and paints and oils, I couldn't tell the difference. But after working with them a while and trying different things out, I could tell the difference between a good paint or a bad paint. I can now tell the difference between a good brush and a bad brush, and all this kind of stuff. So I guess initially it's not so intuitive. But the quality of the tools, it somehow matters. The quality of the materials that you use, it matters. And I don't know, maybe that's why works in galleries that get hung in galleries are so expensive. It's not because they're hot, it's because the artist needs to pay to buy another can of paint. Look at this. Photoshop is certainly not cheap. Photoshop is balls expensive, and yet it's essential for digital art, at some point everything goes through Photoshop. Whether it's a matte painting or comic book colors or whatever, everything goes through Photoshop. Alright, so I like the knees. I like this stuff going on here. I kind of haven't done anything with this belly area here, so let's see what we can do. Trying not to get too vulgar. Yeah, artist supplies. It's tough, man. It's tough. Sometimes I wonder about how these how people decide to go into business, you know, making paints or, you know, making brushes. Like, how do you decide to, I guess it's like anything. I mean, you figure out something that you're good at and it clicks and you say, oh, hey, I'm really good at making brushes. But I don't know. I wonder where that kind of thing comes from. Like, what makes you decide that for my vocation in life, I'm going to make the best paints for artists to use? I wonder if it's artists coming up with their own stuff and just deciding that, hey, maybe I can sell them to other artists to help help finance my own art. I mean, Photoshop, I guess Photoshop definitely started out as a photo manipulating tool, and somewhere along the line somebody figured out, hey, we can actually use this to do digital artwork with it. And a lot of those early programs came from people who just wanted to do stuff that they couldn't before, and they decided to sit down and program something that would aid them in doing it. And a lot of those early programs were just shared between people just cuz, you know, some of them clearly decided that this is something that they can market and build upon. But, you know, initially a lot of programmers just kind of try some new shit. Sorry, this is supposed to be a clean podcast. They try some new stuff, just cuz. I wonder if it's like that with like art paints or like oils. Like some people, well, originally oils, you had to mix your own. You had to get your own paints. You had to get your own pigments and your own bases and stuff. And you had to know how to do that. Well, maybe maybe some artists just got really good at mixing and decided that they could sell that kind of stuff. I don't know. These are the questions that race through my mind at midnight when I should be asleep. Alright, so let's save. Alright, let's concentrate on the background now. So deselect everything. And let's go and start working on the background again. And we want to make some highlights. Here. Let's see what other brushes we got going on. What's this? I don't like that. Don't like any of it. Alright, let's go to color dodge. No, I don't like that. Let's go to normal. I don't like that either. Screwing up. What can we do to the background to make it less sucky? Let's start with this rock stuff. This is when we need those crazy texture brushes. Alright, next time I will hunt down some brushes or some photo textures that I can use, and then I will set them up, show you where to find them, get all that good stuff. Right now I'm just kind of messing in and trying to unsuck this stuff. Alright, still working on some bark things going on here. Shading in some of this crap. It's a little too orange. Tone it down a little bit. Yeah, there we go. That's nice. Some little orange in here. Little highlight action. Alright, that's a little better. Let's, oops, turn you off. Can get rid of this roadmap thing here. Let's create another group. We'll call it light. Oh, wait. We need one more group, and we'll call this for foreground. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know how many of you have followed this, but let's see, front bush. When I initially came up with my sketch, I thought that it would be cool to have a sort of very close kind of bush here to sort of imply that we've kind of happened in on a intimate scene between Monster Cutie, sort of like we're explorers and we've kind of come into this very intimate scene. So I'm gonna see what this crap looks like. That looks like crap. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if this works or not. Let's lock this off, see what other kind of things we can do with it here. Don't like the shape of that. I'm gonna use this for an eraser. Well, that's a neat eraser. Back. What have we got here? We've got this leaf thing. Slightly bigger. Well, this could work out. This could work out. This could not suck. We're getting something going on here. Alright, let's go back to the background. Shall we keep it? Shall we leave it? Shall we keep it? Shall we leave it? Shall we keep it? Shall we get rid of it? For now, let's keep it. We'll get rid of it later. Let's take down. I don't know. I'll leave it in there for now. I'm just gonna lay in some of this random leaf texture thing in the background here. We'll see what we can do with it. Multiply. Color burn. Ooh, okay. Alright. So we're just gonna dork around with this a little bit. Put down the opacity so it just looks like little subtle spots. And then oh, we can even do like a soft light. Nah. Multiply. Nice subtle breakup of this texture here. Alright, and then we'll merge that down. Let's try it with a hot yellow here. And this is just to add more depth to our background, because our background is this tree here needs some more crap. It needs more crap. And we'll go with a soft light. And we'll dial it down, way down to like 10%. So you can kind of see what's going on, but not really. And then merge that down. We'll do it again. We'll try like an orange or something. Some of this stuff in here, some of this stuff. Go with an overlay. Take that down to like 13. Merge it down. So if we zoom in here, we've got all this kind of neat patterns going on in the background. Like that. We can do the same thing for our cuties. Give them a little something something. So let's merge down this overpaint and let's create another layer. Hide that. And we're just gonna use this leaf shape just because it's easy to mess with. When I paint around, it kind of gives a nice little even stipple to it. So what I am going to do is I'm going to use a blue, and I'm going to paint it in the shadow areas, or the areas where shadows collect, like around these folds, the bottom of the arms, the back here, all this stuff in here, down here. And do the same wherever shadows collect. Do some of that in here. No. And this is a good way to add some color variation so that it's not just one shade of anything. Just some sort of stippled brush. I could make one, I could download one, or I could just use the standard ones. I tend to use a lot of the standard brushes because I'm lazy and I don't have a high quality camera to take good quality photographs with. So this is a good way of laying down textures for me. Some of these guys, definitely underpits. Underpits. Alright, so we've cooled off some areas on the Cutie. Let us change modes. Soft light gives us some good variation. Let's bring it down, bring it down. Bring it down a little bit more. Alright, it's nice and very subtle. Let me zoom in so you can tell the difference a little bit more. So with the shading, without the shading, with the shading, without the shading, with the shading, without the shading, with the shading, without the shading. Need some more up in here. If I turn up the soft light, you can tell the effect a little bit better. Not bad, not bad. So we'll merge that down. We'll create another one. Yep, our selection is still active. Oh, I hit the Q key for quick mask. This mode you can paint masks. It also shows you what's being selected. So there we go. I'll spend a day doing stuff on that. Alright, so we did our blue. Let's do our red. Red, pinkish red. Alright, so this color we're going to paint in the areas that are closest to the skin, like the eyelids, the cheeks, the lips. These are any areas that have a lot of blood at the surface. Actually, I want a real red here. Okay, so select that, fill that, there we go. Deselect it. Alright. Some of the fingers, some in here, some in here. Some in here, some in here. Definitely a lot in here. We'll even do it around you, ya big guy. Your schnoz. Your schnoz, little guy. Your cheeks. Nah, not your arm. And your cheeks, little cutie monster. Maybe on your kneecaps, I don't know. Kneecaps, definitely in the belly area. Maybe some in here. Alright, time to play with the blend layer. Oh, no. We need some in this waddle here. Waddle. Soft light. It looks like he's got the pox. Hard light, soft light. And down. Oops. A little bit more. Bring it up a little bit. Down a little bit. Alright, let's go with that. Merge it down. Alright, let's try one more. Let's try the yellow. Yellow is going to be for very bright highlights where the skull is shining through. So, oops. The brightest parts. Alright, let's see what this looks like. Play with it. Soft light. No. Screen. Turn you down. Turn you down, way down. Turn you way down, way down. Alright, so we've got some more textures in on these cuties. We've got some more texture in the background. Let me save. Alright, I'm gonna try this one thing. I don't know how well it's gonna work, but I want the feel of that we're in a clearing and that light is poking through. So what I think I'm gonna do is take an adjustment layer, take a photo filter, click OK. So if I turn off the photo filter, oops, deselect. And let's try that again. Alright, new layer, adjustment layer, photo filter. And so if you turn off preview, this is what it looks like. Warming filter warms up your entire composition. Preserve luminosity preserves the brightness of your photo. If you turn that off, it just treats it as if you just put an orange piece of film over your entire composition. But with preserve luminosity, you get to preserve the light that you've painted in. So we kind of want a cooling filter. How much of a cooling filter? And I actually don't want to preserve luminosity here. Let's see what these go for. Turn that off. Alright, I like this one. Okay. And we're gonna call this cool filter. Cool photo filter. Alright, so this thing here, this white thing here in our layer palette, this is the mask for the color filter. And we can paint into this mask to take away part of it. So black, oops, and let's get the spatter brush. Black paints away the mask. So anything that I paint black gets revealed, the original becomes revealed. So turn that off, turn that back on. Alright, so we're going to use this painting in the alpha channel, or the mask, to sort of bring out different parts of the cutie as if it were under some bushes or something. So we're literally just painting away parts of this filter. It's not random enough. We'll use the maple leaf. This is totally not working. Alright, let's try something else. Let's try the, let's try a soft brush and just Alright, let's zoom out and see what that looks like. Doesn't look like anything like I wanted it to look like. No, no, I guess something's happening. Something's happening. I think what I need is some very bright highlights to burn some of the light out so it looks like it's being shined, that the light is being shined. Because right now it just looks like, I don't know what it looks like. I think the shadow is too cold. Alright, let's try something. So to select layer mask options, let's see what we do if we select that. Alright, so take the inverse of that, go to the layer below it, hit white. That won't do anything. I want a yellow. Yellow. There it kind of looks like a bushes through a scene. It also looks way too washed out. So let's keep working on this. But it definitely helps, especially with the ground plane. So I want more of an opening in the middle instead of just like speckles. So it looks like, you know, we're getting full rays on the middle section here. All right, so let's see what we've got here. Whoop. So let's try that again. Delete. Select transparency, hit the inverse, fill it with the yellow. And we got some stuff going on. Let's put it on top of our thing. Alright, now the problem is we're losing definition in our piece. So let's turn everything down. Let's turn this blue down a little bit to like 50%. And let's turn this linear dodge down to something a little bit more manageable. That looks like ass. Let's fill it with white. What does white do? Does nothing. Let's turn that off. Turns back up. Alright, so I'm just screwing around right now, trying to come up with a combination that I like that doesn't suck. And I am not finding anything. Eraser. This is my eraser. First of all, these shadows here should not be so high. So this gets taken down, taken down, taken down. Take that down too. Paint that out a little bit. Right in the mouth. That should be a little bit more defined. The eyes need deeper shadow. This needs to go a little bit out. Oh, let's call this the sun blowout. And what I'm trying to do is tighten it up so that I don't lose detail. I still want those highlights, but I don't want to lose the detail of like the eyes and the eyebrows and stuff. Things still should look like they're casting shadows. His eyes poking out still. And the sock. The sock should still appear bloody. The hat should still look like the hat. Erase some down here. Oh. This needs to be tightened up down here. Oh boy, I don't know if I like it or not. Alright, let me save it. Something feels weird about this color balance. What other adjustment layers can I do? Alright, I'm gonna try something. The way you do this is you hit, let's see, Option, Apple, Shift, E. And what that does is it copies everything that's turned on and puts it in its own layer. And on a PC, I think it's Control, Option, Shift, E. So now I can turn off all this other stuff, and I still have my one layer with everything flattened. And what I want to do is do an auto color. And that did not do what I wanted to do. Let's try auto level. That did not do what I wanted it to do. Let's try auto contrast. That didn't do shit. Alright, so let's do auto color. Let's turn back everything else and turn that layer down just a little bit. Then the blue, and then this. Does that look any better? Huh. I kind of like that. Let's zoom in, zoom back out. Alright, so we've got it looking like that. Let's see what happens when we turn off all those effects. Bring him up a little bit. Huh. It's kind of nifty. Let me fix this part down here. And then save it. Oh, no, there's more. Whoops. There's more in here that I need to erase out. Let's zoom back out. Oh, and there's some stuff in here that I don't like, and get rid of that. And some over here. Tighten it up, tighten it up. Paint some back in here. Some back in there. Come out, come out. Huh. Huh. So we've got that, or we've got that. That, or that. That, or that. That. or that. Let's change this. We'll call this FX. I am going to sit on this and decide later whether or not I'm done. Because there are a couple more things that I could do to it, but I don't know, something about this kind of works. I'm not sure. Alright, so I'll put this away for now. I'll step back and I'll think about it, and see you guys again some after this. Alright? Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye.